don't think I have to remind people, given the backdrop here, that more than 2.5 years ago, Port Authority officials appointed by Governor Christie, working with the governor's staff, closed down the George Washington Bridge. The access lanes that happened to go through Fort Lee, they closed them down for 4 days. That act certainly made clear why reform was necessary.
The compromise legislation gives New York and New Jersey Senate and Assembly the right to require the appearance of the Port Authority Chair or Vice Chair, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Fiscal Officer, and any other staff for a committee up to 2 times each year before each legislative body. It includes a section suggested by New Jersey transportation experts that requires the Port Authority to give 60 days advance notice and to hold public hearings in each state prior to the adoption of a new 10-year capital plan.
We're here today because we're urging the governor to sign this new legislation before the deadline of May 22nd, because this is something so important, not only to the constituents of New Jersey, but the residents of New York as well. And together, this is the first time that we have identical pieces of legislation with our Assembly members, our Senate members from the other side of the river. So it's truly a bi-state, bipartisan effort to make sure that we have an effective piece of legislation.
Doing an overhaul of the Port Authority, its governance, its ethics, its financial transparency is a complicated situation because it takes 6 to tango. It takes all 4 legislative bodies and both governors passing and signing the same identical piece of legislation. So we are anxious to get it over with, and the bill before Governor Christie now strengthens the New York bill. It keeps all the New York reforms intact.